Well, here we are. We've reached the end of the first ever Naruto November. Gotta say, it's been a lot of fun taking a look at this series and discovering what I really think about each game. But all good things must come to an end. And we're gonna end off with Naruto Shippuden, Ultimate Ninja 4. It's 2009, and Naruto Shippuden has premiered in the US. You're probably thinking, man, this is great. But guess what? That's not it. The next installment of the Ultimate Ninja series also came out in 2009. Surely this doesn't mean that they rushed the game just to get in on the hype for Naruto Shippuden. Absolutely not. There's no way CyberConnect 2 and Bandai Namco, the publisher of the game, would do that. Well... First of all, let me get this out of the way. This game has two story modes. One is called Hero Mode. I didn't play this mode for reasons I'll discuss later. Then, there's Master Mode, which is where all the gameplay you're seeing comes from. Now as far as regular battles go, they're still good. They're about on par with the battles from Ultimate Ninja 3. It's the other type of combat in the story where the major problems come in. You see, in Master Mode, they bring back the free roaming of the Ultimate Contest mode from Ultimate Ninja 3. The free roaming itself is still quite fun. It still feels really good to traverse the world. They've even added some new moves that make it more fun. Outside of the exploration, there's the combat. And oh boy, this combat is bad. Pretty much this is how the combat works. You go into a room, enemies spawn, then the fight begins. You repeatedly press the circle button to attack. You can also press the triangle button and then the circle for a Rasengan attack. Lastly, during your circle attack, a prompt will come up to press triangle to activate the first jam. Then later, you press triangle again, you can activate the second jam. These are unblockable attacks, and can do big damage, so always use this if you have a chance. Doesn't sound so bad, right? Well, you would think so, but here's why this combat sucks. 1. It happens to you frequently. You see, a majority of this Master Mode takes place in this random mountain. Certain rooms are fighting rooms, meaning anytime you go through these rooms you have no choice but to fight. Big problem with this is that after you get through a certain point in the mountain, you have to go all the way back out of the mountain, and anytime you go through a fight room, you have to fight the enemies all over again. I get having to fight them when you first go through the room, but having to fight the same battles all over again is just annoying, and it makes the story last longer than it ever needs to. 2. The battles are so repetitive, you do the same thing every single battle. Mash the circle button, occasionally do a Rasengan, and then jam attack. And that's it. Rinse and repeat until A, you get tired of the game, or B, you start questioning your life choices and why you've decided to play this game. Third reason, there are boss battles using this type of combat. One where you fight this weird dog thing, and another where you fight this gang leader guy, and they both suck. The reason I included these two fights is because they contain everything wrong with the combat as mentioned previously, but also because they are so long. It took me a little over 14 minutes to beat this stupid dog thing. And the gang leader was no slouch either. I ended up just having to spam Rasengan to do decent damage and not die. These two boss fights were the only time in the game where dying was an actual possibility. Speaking of which, the fourth and final reason this combat sucks is because the combat sections are stupid easy. These are the only two where I had trouble, and I had to use healing items to survive. Every other battle was so easy that I probably could have just spammed circle and won, as the circle attacks seemed to automatically lock onto enemies. Granted, there's more to the story than the combat, but in order to progress the story and get to the interesting parts, you have to engage in the combat, and it makes this story mode almost unplayable in my opinion. Now, am I being harsh about this combat? Maybe, but I don't care. This is just how I feel about it. Now, you might be thinking there's more to talk about in terms of gameplay. but not really. The only other thing that you really do is complete side quests, which I don't care for. There's the free roaming and the regular 1v1 battles, and like I said, both of these things haven't changed much, except for maybe a few things. So now let's move on to the graphics. They literally haven't changed since Ultimate Ninja 3. Granted, that's not exactly a bad thing, as Ultimate Ninja 3 wasn't a bad looking game, but considering the jump between Ultimate Ninja 2 and 3, it is slightly disappointing. Now you know what's next. Let's talk about how the game adapts the story of the show. Now I can't believe I'm saying this, but this might be the worst in the Ultimate Ninja series when it comes to this aspect of the game. For one, remember when I said I would explain later why I decided to skip the hero mode? Well, now I can explain. Hero mode goes over the original Naruto before Shippuden. The problem with this is that Ultimate Ninja 3 exists, and I would much rather play that game than this one. Also, this is the first released game for Naruto Shippuden, so why would I want to experience the original Naruto story? I want to see the new story. Good grief, I already have problems with the story and I haven't even touched Master Mode yet. So Master Mode actually does focus on the new Shippuden story, but not right away. Instead, you have to go for a pretty boring filler plot about a village sacrificing a girl to appease the monster that lives in a cave. Yeah, it's kind of boring, especially because it took me 2.5 hours to beat it. Then, and only then, can you finally move on into the actual canon Naruto Shippuden story. This game adapts the rescuing Gaara arc from the show. However, and this is the important thing, it doesn't even adapt the whole storyline.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
That's right. After fighting Itachi, the story just goes to credits and that's it. Now you're probably wondering, why don't I have footage of the Itachi fight or the end? Well, that's because I gave up on the story. You see, I already knew about the ending before I played this game, so I was already prepared for the disappointment awaiting me. What I was not prepared for was the amount of filler in this game. Even after you complete the stupid long opening chapter, you still have to go through stupid filler, like the gang leader thing. Now you might be thinking, that's just the filler stuff. I'm sure when the actual events from the show come up, they're great. I thought that would be the case as well, but oh boy, was I wrong. The main example of this bad adaptation of the show events comes in the form of the Bell Test. Now this is an important event in Naruto Shippuden. This is the first battle of the show, and it's our reintroduction to Naruto, Sakura, and Kakashi, and it shows off their new abilities. In the game, you just chase Kakashi down and press a button. Boom, it's done. This is just sad. Now back in the day, I wouldn't have blamed you for playing this. There just wasn't a whole lot of Shippuden content out there. But nowadays we have Ultimate Ninja Storm 2 and Clash of Ninja Revolution 3. Two Naruto Shippuden games that adapt the same story as Ultimate Ninja 4 but do it much better. Mainly because, they actually finished the story. Ultimate Ninja 1's story mode wasn't that great, but it never directly adapted a specific storyline, so I can forgive it there. Ultimate Ninja 4 does directly adapt a storyline, but doesn't go all the way through with it, so I can fault it for that. Now I feel the main reason for this is that this game came out the same year as the premiere of Shippuden, so the show probably hadn't even finished the story by the time the game came out. This is why I made a reference to the game being rushed at the beginning of the video. I feel like Bandai Namco really wanted to have the first Naruto Shippuden game out on the market. In the end though, no matter what happened behind the scenes, Ultimate Ninja 4 became a disappointing game, and a sad ending to the Ultimate Ninja series. Except, this wasn't the end. At least for those outside of North America. For you see, in December of 2007, Ultimate Ninja 5 was released in Japan and Europe. But again, not for North America. Why? I don't know. Probably because at this point Bandai Namco wanted to move on from the PS2. I couldn't give you an exact reason, but as for my thoughts on the game from the footage I have seen, it looks better than Ultimate Ninja 4, but that's all I can really say without playing the game myself. But with that out of the way, we have finally looked at every Ultimate Ninja game. Now let's rank them from worst to best. At the bottom, of course, Ultimate Ninja 4. Avoid like the plague. Next up, Ultimate Ninja 1. May have some rough parts, but it's the one that started it all, so it deserves some credit there. In second place is Ultimate Ninja 2. A huge step in the right direction for the series. This game featured a better story mode and was just overall a much better game than the first. But it was immediately topped by the next game, Ultimate Ninja 3. Just a perfect representation of the series. A love letter to the world of Naruto and the characters that inhabit it. This is a good game, and it deserves to be remembered even in this massive ocean that is Naruto games. Thank you all for joining me for the very first ever Naruto November. I hope you stick around for not only the next video on the channel, but next year for Naruto November 2. But until then, thank you all so much for watching these videos, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye, everybody.